All right, I need you to get it all out of your system. I need you to get it all out of your system, okay? Because, the Americanization of hey, all right, sometimes America has good ideas. Most of the time it doesn't, okay? But every once in a while, like McDonald's, right? Like barbecue sauce, the United States can get something right. It's normally food-based. But you know what? I think the American sports are pretty fun. Even if you don't necessarily understand them, I think those are pretty good inventions too. You probably like one of them. Basketball, hockey, those are usually a little more approachable than American football because you need a PhD in America to understand American football in the first place, so I don't blame you if you don't. Right? But the United States is capable of coming up with good ideas, although its hit percentage is quite low. And I think one of those good ideas might be making its way into the world of football, which is something that makes me excited. This would actually solve a lot of the problems that seem to be existing in the world of football right now, particularly around VAR. Because if there's one thing that the United States has experience in that the rest of the world, at least when it comes to football, does not, is video review. Video review has existed in every major American sport except for baseball for a long time. And so when something exists for, 20, even 30 years, you have a lot of time to trial and error different ways to make it work, right? To find the best way to make it work. Where in football, you're like a couple years into this VAR experiment and these semi-automatic offsides, and it's like a freaking disaster, right? It's slowing down the game. They're checking everything because they don't want to be wrong, which is only human nature. Right, and you haven't had as many years to try and hone the system. You haven't had as many years to try and figure out exactly what makes the system functional, what makes the system work for you. Okay. Well, boy, do I have the solution, and it's courtesy of not me, but FIFA. Apparently, because FIFA wants alternative VAR system, coaches can challenge decisions. Fucking yes. Yes. This would speed the game up so much. And it would put the onus on the coach and the bench to understand, to be able to make a challenge. But outside of that, you would have the game that everybody knew and loved before. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it would be. Pierluigi Collina, by the way, is the person recommending this. This isn't just like some American asshole flying in, taking control of FIFA and being like, hey, you know what? We should put challenges. No, this is like, the most respected referee of the last 25 years. He is the chairman of FIFA, of FIFA's referees committee. And the new system works without a VAR official. Coaches can request to see an assessment. It is not an extension of the current VAR system, but an alternative. So what this essentially is you remove the VAR official, right? Because he's probably, sitting on a couch, absolutely ripped, ranting about how he hates Jurgen Klopp. Anyways, right? You remove that VAR official, and you just put a little, TV on the side of the field. Okay. And I'm assuming how they would want this to work is the coach can challenge. This is how it works in the United States. Just so I explain it for everybody that wouldn't understand. You can challenge a call. So somebody scores a goal, right? And you're on the side, and one of your players comes up to you, or one of your coaches comes up to you, is like, boss, I think that was offside. You see that guy over there? I think he was offside. I think we need to challenge this. But there is risk to this, because obviously, if you have unlimited challenges, you'll challenge everything to see if you can get them to reverse the call, and we end up with a system that is producing the exact same problems that the current system produces, which is the game is stopping too much and there's no flow to the game, right? But you say you get one challenge per 90 minutes. Well, then you're going to be real careful using that challenge, because if you lose your challenge, you lose your challenge. Right? Like if you challenge a play and the decision is upheld, let's say the guy's not offside, well, then you don't have another challenge for the rest of the match. So you're only going to challenge if you're, if it's really important play or you're really sure that you're right, you're going to go ahead and challenge that, because you don't know if they're going to butcher some sort of call later. that you're going to need to go out and challenge. You know, somebody gets headbutted, but the ref doesn't see it, right? Something crazy like that happens, and you're not able to get your challenge out. This is how it works in the NFL, right? This is how it works in college football. It also works this way in the NBA, right? It's kind of a slight modification of these rules. There's a challenge system in the NHL where there is a risk associated with your challenge. In some of these sports, you lose a timeout, which is an incredibly valuable thing in these sports, or you lose your challenge and you're not able to challenge again if you challenge a play and you lose. This would cut down the number of reviews and the number of incidents a lot. It would add an element of drama to these types of reviews, and it would add an element of like self-determination. You are in control of what is going to get reviewed. If you feel like you've been horribly wronged, challenge the play. If you win the challenge, you get your challenge back, right? Because the referee made a mistake. The ref can just, come on over and look at the screen and decide whether he made the right call or not. He does point out the one potential problem with this is that it will drag out the ends of games, but this happens in all of the sports where challenges exist, where it could happen that they make a kind of last attempt for an incident that happens at the very end of a match, but that would not necessarily give a tactical advantage. Now, there is a solution to this that the NFL in particularly has come up with that apparently FIFA has not been able to wander into yet when it comes to all of this in their film study of what the NFL happens to be doing. Okay, the solution the NFL has is that in the final couple of minutes, it is what's called a booth review. So all close plays, whether it be a close offside, if we're talking specifically football, non-American style right here, if it's close offside, if it's a close foul, if it's a potential red card, it's all automatically reviewed. Okay, the person that does this video reviewing is going to be automatically reviewing any tight play in the final couple of minutes. This is kind of an ongoing process. This would be old school VAR for the final couple of minutes that would remove the challenge system. It's the way it works in the NFL. And the NFL has actually added another important part of this replay system in the last year or two, which is something called the automatic replay correction. There is, instead of removing the VAR official, which is what they're talking about, there is a constant VAR official there. But what the VAR official is able to do is provide quick, non-game interrupting corrections to play, right? Just able to provide, if something is incredibly obvious, they are able to provide quick corrections. Like, oh, that dude flopped, reverse that call. Like, do a drop ball, whatever. Right? I don't know exactly how that would work with football and soccer, but it's something that has been transcendent in the NFL. If they spot the ball wrong, this quick automatic review can go, yeah, that ball spot's wrong. You got to move it up a couple yards. And it just happens. And they basically don't, they make a very short announcement, but it takes up like 10 seconds instead of 5 minutes. Right? And you just go, oh, okay. Right? Like there is a tandem refereeing between the person looking at the video and the person actually on the field. That is light years away from where football and FIFA seem to be comfortable going with this. But those are options that are applicable and very, very functional in other major sports, obviously. It's been fantastic in the NFL this season. But I am absolutely in favor of there being this kind of challenge system, and that is for one most important reason. It will cut down on the length and the number of these ridiculous reviews. If something is a really obvious mistake, freaking challenge it. Outside of that, let's get back to the beauty of the game being this open, free-flowing, everybody's going crazy time that I fell in love with, that everybody else fell in love with, so we can stop. It feels like a very American sport, going to the monitor so much to review all this stuff. Give them one challenge apiece, put in automatic offside determination, and let's get back to actually playing the game. Instead of watching this ref stand over there and waiting for him to either draw, waiting for him to do that. Give them challenges. I want to see Pep Guardiola agonizing over challenge strategy.